So yeah, Twitch has this weird thing where if you connect another screen, then you can never detect it while the program is running. You have to just completely well, not Twitch, OBS. You have to completely relaunch OBS in order to be able to detect another screen. And since my browser was on the screen I just plugged in, that was a bit unavoidable to restart the stream, so apologies for that. But after a little bit of a break, here we are back trying to bench something. It is once again my I was about to say team B. That's what I'm having to deal with at work at the moment, a team A and team B setup because of COVID. But I mean more, what I was meaning to say was option B in terms of benching. So I have option A beside me, which was this board and chip combo. It was an amazing master plan. I was literally just gonna, I've been benching this for a couple of days, this board with an FX 8150 in it, and I thought this is going to be the most prepared stream ever because all I've got to do is drop the 8120 in there and then start the stream. That didn't quite work out because this chip is actually dead. I don't know what happened to it. I haven't benched it at all. So there's a little bit of a binning method that I have where I said 1.55 vCore and see how high a chip can boot into Windows, and that is literally the only thing I've done with that chip, and it somehow has managed to die from a binning test trying to boot into Windows. So that's really weird. As I'm getting some drop frames. So that was my first option. The reason it was my first option was because of Team Cup. So let's have a tiny little look at Team Cup here. So it is the SuperPi stage and it is the 32M stage. Sorry, the DDR3 stage. Hopefully I don't sneeze or anything into the microphone at some point on the stream because it's hay fever season. So this is the score I was working on at the weekend, and the problem with this chip is it has a missing pin, so it's only single channel. So I'm reasonably happy with 362. This stage, by the way, is just for those who are not benching Team Cup. So obviously DDR3 only, Zambesi only. So that's the first generation of Bulldozer on AM3 Plus. So the FX chips, max CPU multiplier of 10, and in order to be able to enforce the multiplier, basically, mandatory benchmate. So you can't upclock and downclock and cheat, basically. Yeah, so that's why we're stuck at 10x here. And I mean, there haven't been many submissions yet, but it's the fastest submission so far in this stage. But I'm on overclock.net and Yos here has the same chip. So ideally what I wanted to do was just swap in the 8120 and get roughly the same result. So we have two scores because the stage is best of two scores. It's the average of two scores. But now that my 8120 is dead, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So I've got basically plan B beside me here, which is the trusty old Apex 6 with a new chip in there, actually a 7940X, so the 14 core. But one big issue is the board has started to exhibit these signs of channel dropping again. So the inside right slot, let's see if I can somehow point it out. I'll just go here. This slot is not training at all. Apex 6, the only Apex. Well, there was an Apex Encore on that socket, wasn't there? But the original Rampage 6 Apex. Hi White Shark, by the way, thanks for joining. So why am I so usually I stream on a Wednesday morning, my time, but another complication besides the fact that a chip just randomly died on me is that there's some construction going on at my house at the moment. There is some water damage basically being fixed, which involves ripping up tiles, which is really, really loud. And there's no way I can stream this week. It should only take 1 week, but you know how construction is. It often takes longer than quoted. So I can't stream this Wednesday, and I missed last Wednesday for other reasons. So I didn't want to have a 2-week break. So here I am, straight after work, getting into the fun stuff. So I'm gonna try. I'm actually just gonna show. I'm gonna tear down the rig and see if I can maybe clean the socket a little bit. Oh, just because it arrived today. I was running low on bad paste, so I'm excited to show that I've got new what is it called, GD 900. A few tubs of that. That should work. That should do me for a while. That should be enough for a while. Okay, so let's flip the switch and see if we can get this slot working. I've already tried to clean the physical slot, so it must be a socket thing. So I've had a history of this happening. I have an X299 OC formula, and that actually has broken sockets, has an issue with its socket to the point where it won't train 2 of the RAM slots. This board will train 4 slots, but of course you still have to have the correct mount. I even went to the trouble of labeling all of my sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4. These kits, these are G-Skill flares, the ones that came out with Ryzen 1st gen. So this is my dedicated quad kit now. It's not an amazing kit, but it's 2 matched dual channel kits, and I don't do so much quad work, so I think that's a good way of sort of semi-retiring them. Okay, so time to reseat the CPU. And our fisheye camera is back. So yeah, just gonna take the block off. This is a really good deal. This is cheaper than a 10900K for 4 more cores, so I can't say no to that. So here's our sort of old and dilapidated Alpha Cool block. That was a good block at the time, maybe still is. And here's our very much worse for wear, dilapidated Apex 6. Added some read points here. I still need to put a VCore read point at the back of the socket, because actually these read points don't have a V-core, so it's all of the minor voltages plus V in, but no actual V-core due to the fiber. Just need to rescue my paste. Don't want to waste kingpin. There should be liquid metal under here. Hi, fat boy. How are you doing? How's flight sim going? Did you do a real-time Sydney to LA flight yet? Okay. Should put a piece of tape in the socket as well, because I have the DMI pin in there. CJ4, as in Canadair regional jet. So the official line from ASUS is that if you install the DMI pin for KBX, you should run a bit of tape at the back of CPU, like so, to cover those resistors, so you don't get contact with the DMI pin, which is KBX only. This is what we call magic spray. And you learn very quickly that there's no such thing as too much magic spray. Just douse the entire socket, have it dripping all over the board, it doesn't matter. It does good things to electronics. I'm just checking to see if I've bent any more sockets, but it looks clean. I mean, the socket looks horrendous, but the the pins part is in good shape as far as I can tell. Just gonna give that particular slot another go. Just see if I can. Okay, and it doesn't hurt to do it on the back of the chip either, but I can see that it's really clean. All right, while that dries, let's catch up with chat and some other fun stuff. Yeah, so Cessna CJ4. Oh, I was thinking of the CJR. Yeah, I like flight sims, but I don't really have the rig for it. I struggle to put together a streaming rig, never mind a flight sim rig. So okay, so I was a bit annoyed when I saw this front page, because Ale took my 32M, 1M, W prime, and pi fasts for this locked Thuban 1055T, so I'll have to rerun that. Hey Palazin. So yeah, he was able, for the 32M, he was able to do. I should probably just douse my chips, my my sticks as well. Can't hurt, right? It's always a challenge trying to find a place where you can dry them where they don't get dirty again. Yeah, I should be able to beat it. By the way, this is what the other side of these sticks looks like. So there's a bit of foam to make up for the fact that there's no ICs on there. All right. So let's do a little compare and contrast. So he's just working at, he's using a better BCLK board. So it's a locked chip for those who don't know. This may confuse some people. 14 is the highest regular multiplier you can set on this chip, and then 16.5 is like a very, very early version of a single core boost. But no one that I know of has found a way of really achieving this boost while also pushing 400 plus BCLK. So in practice, unless somebody finds basically the cheat code here, this particular chip is limited to 14x and then whatever bus speed you can push. And then, you know, that also has knock-on effects, like there's a highest north bridge multiplier. Typically a Thuban chip like this should be able to do about 4.5 north bridge, but because the north bridge multi is also locked, which is 10x, I guess, you get a lot of return from higher BCLK, because higher BCLK means higher core, higher north bridge, and higher DRAM frequency, because there's not that many DRAM multipliers to choose from on this platform. So the next one up after this is not really possible at 400 plus. So you basically are locked into this ratio as well. So if you compare that to my score, I'm also running on a less, yay, quad channel party if I can get all 4 channels to train. So this was my effort. So he's at 422, I'm at 413. So you can see obviously that has an effect on North Bridge and on the RAM. I'm on the Crosshair Extreme. He's on the Gigabyte UD7, which I haven't tried yet with my chip. It's also in unganged mode. I'm actually on unganged as well. So sometimes with ganged mode, which if you don't know, on this platform there's one memory controller per RAM channel, so 2 because it's a dual channel platform, and there's this mode where you can basically tie together the 2 IMCs to talk to each other, which hurts performance but sometimes gives you higher BCLK. So on my particular board and my particular chip, I wasn't able to get higher BCLK with ganged mode, so I stayed on unganged. Looks like Ale is similar. But yeah, anyway, it's a bit of a bummer. It's one of my better scores, I think 47 or 48 hardware points, and it's gonna be tricky to beat 422 boss. I think my chip, I don't know if it's going to load because HardwareBot has been having issues, but I think my chip was able to do like 450 or 460 BCLK without the core also pushed, but it's completely different in 32M. Yeah, so that was a little bit demoralizing. Yes, ground, but there is a huge penalty performance in 32M. Performance penalty in 32M. So as you can see, I mean, 422 at 666 BBSC, you would probably be running what, 711.7 or something, or 610.6. I'm not really that familiar with BBSC, but basically the extra 5 or 10 BCLK you gain will never make up for the performance penalty in 32M. Maybe he ran it for W prime. I'll check W prime. Let's see. No, he also did 666. Yeah, but it's all very, very different on AMD. That's all I can say, really. So yeah, 425 through W prime, so a little bit more. Anyway, I only have a really, really crap kit of BBSC, so I'll be running hypers for sure. Just don't know if I'm going to be able to beat Ale. All right, the rig should have dried sufficiently, so let's see if we can put it back together again. First things first, put the chip in there, make sure the little piece of tape at the back doesn't interfere with the pins. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just a gravity mount for now, because sometimes you can have too much mounting pressure on the block and that makes you drop some channels. So let's see how we get on with that. And I'm going to insert the sticks in the right order, give us maximum possibility of maybe potentially getting all 4 channels. And roundabout BBSE as well. It only gives you more bus clock if the board can still do it and if the chip can still do it. That's the problem too, is you have multiple kind of bottlenecks there, where if everything is absolutely perfect, then yes, and you don't care too much about timings, then BBSE will give you the most benchable BCLK. But I think in this case it wasn't the case. So how is Team Hardware Reactor feeling about their chances in Team Cup? Just put the little alien there for good measure. And I have a postcode cam today, that's always nice. 67, I think it's already dropping a channel. That doesn't look good. Not sure you're gonna have success with that. Good luck, but I think when someone's done, they're just done, you know? They don't really care too much anymore. It was similar with Papa Ramiro. He just wanted his cards gone, whatever way possible. So I've cleared CMOS. Let's see what happens. I think I see 3 lights. No, it's actually 4 lights. That's encouraging. It's not posting though for some reason. Nine C, D6, A2. Weird. Just connected the second 8 pin in case that makes any difference. How's the summer going over there in Germany? You still got 35 degrees or something? 62, 79. Oh. Do we have 32 gigabytes? Yes! I didn't actually think this was going to work. Color me impressed. All right, time to attach the block properly. And the trick is enough mounting pressure that temps are okay, but not so much mounting pressure you drop a channel again, because then you may have to take out the chip again, and that's not fun. Just going to do a little bit of a re-scrape of the thermal paste here. Yeah, triple channel's pretty rough. I'm undecided as to whether quad channel is worse or better than triple channel, but I think they're just kind of equal. They're really bad. Okay. I really, really hope to never have to take out these DIMMs during this session. Formula. Yeah, I still kind of hope that maybe my board is fixable. It's just got something shorted out on it, but not too confident. The mounting mechanism on this board is not great. Especially if you only do 2-point mounting like me, which I kind of insist on. If I'm gonna run water, it has to be simple. Okay, let's do one more test. Need the alien on there for good luck. Yeah, I haven't done. Okay, of course my postcode cam is not ideal anymore. All right, I haven't done anything with this chip. Hopefully, I can just get an OS going. May seem like I'm unprepared, but I've been preparing this stream for like 3 hours, just for the wrong platform that ended up being dead. Okay, dropping another channel. That's great. It's a different channel though. I don't know what the solution here is. Intel, just go to PGA. LGA is such bullshit. All right. I mean, I can't run it completely without mounting pressure, can I? Problem with no mounting pressure is I think it will probably have okay thermals, but I just have these visions of the block flying off in the middle of a 4K run or something. No, the outside one is consistently dropping now. And people say they want to see quad channel on mainstream sockets. Hell no. GDR5, please. Oh, okay. Sweet. Got 4 channels. You know what's wrong with it is these springs are a little bit too stiff. Let me try and find springs that are the right tension. Of course, I never have 2 of the same. Okay. I think I'm happy with 1-point mounting. That's a good compromise between 2-point mounting and a drop channel and no point mounting. What do you think? Recipe for success. Alright, let's go into BIOS, and meanwhile I have to restore an image. Or maybe I just have something useful here. Uh, 45-degree temps. Okay, I do need something on the other side. Okay, we have a system. MC off, manual, and no offset here, or as little offset as possible. Sync all cores, 25. We start at 1.25. What are the bets on it actually staying quad channel through reboots now? Oh, yes, it did. Amazing. Yeah, Sam retiring is a bit of a shame, but it's not unexpected. I mean, he was already semi-retired, so it can't really come as a big shock to anyone. But that collection of hardware is just insane. I haven't really had a good look at it, but it's quite something. For sale, everything I own. That's already an ominous thing to say. Okay, so obviously 775s that are binned. Lots of them. Even more. This is what I would be interested in. Would be some old AMD stuff. Trying to 470 on an Optron, that's, well, over 4G is always nice. 460 on a low bin Athlon, certainly better than average. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't really personally be interested in this 4770K. Okay, Linfield, that's interesting. Not sure how good that 860 is, but the fact that he still owns a Linfield is impressive just on its own. Universal gravity mount. Okay, I get your point. Okay, so what else can we do? Well, let's stick a fan on there. Sort of vaguely going across the four DIMMs and the VRM. Encore, that's going to stay stock. DRAM 1.8 on both channels. Well, all 4 channels. Everything else is stock. Of course, disable all this crap. Should be alright. I just need to double check that it doesn't set any aggressive IOLs or RTLs. Doesn't. And hopefully it didn't override my 3200. No, it didn't. Alright, still restoring an OS. Let's have another look here. Best out of 36. I'm probably coming up on 36,920, so that doesn't sound as impressive. 5.2 on OSS. Yeah, that's a good chip. 950 5.1 on SS. Now that's impressive in my mind. Xeons, I don't care about. What's the point? Will be included. So QX. 635 FSB DDR2 board. Okay, that's a random 939 impact formula. All right, so that posted 3200 RAM. We want to boot an OS without max mem, so I won't go higher than that for now. As I'm waiting for my OS restore, I might just get an OC panel out for temps during the bench. Wow, it feels like a long time since I've benched X299. It's like double Dutch to me. Um, 32M at 280 DDR. Now that's nice. That is nice. 3.7 isn't even that insanely high, to be honest. Yeah, that's RAM I'd be interested in. For just random chips that do like 400 validations, or random 6 of DDR rather. Yeah, that doesn't, I don't, whatever, can take that or leave it. Not really too sure how good that DDR2 is, but I'm sure it's decent. Oh, he's got some what is it called? D9? No, what is that weird old DDR3 RAM IC called again? That could be useful to have. 900 valid. All right. Ah, my board is throwing 0-0. That's a good thing to happen, isn't it? Just need a deep clear. D9 GT. Yeah, D9s. Is that what I was thinking of? Okay, obviously DGX2 is good. Those adapters are sweet. Random power supply. The ES version of the 1500 Corsair, that's pretty nice. A single stage, a Dure, a Fluke. Worthless misc shit. Fair enough. Man, this restore is taking a long time. I don't know. Winbond DDR1 is really hard to come by. I mean, you may disagree, but it's possible for me to sit down and bin like 500 775 chips because they're available. But Winbond, it feels like it's like nobody is selling it. So then by definition, that is the more interesting part of the lot, in my mind. I'm also not such a big fan of 775, so maybe that plays into it. D5, 62, that's a post. I don't know. I mean, the chips that get a lot of hardware points are all on AliExpress. That's all I'm interested in, really. Splave already came back. So the 12x ranking has been interesting. Let's actually try and look at the 14x ranking. That might be a useful use of time if it loads, because HardwareBot has been having some issues. I think I'll do W prime first. $975. I think I have two. Now I don't know how many he binned. Maybe it is impossible to bin as many as he binned, considering the current supply of them. But I don't know. Doesn't seem like a crazy rare chip to me. Anytime I've wanted to buy one, I've been able to get it. All right, my OS restore is finished. Would help if I attached the cable the right way around. Okay, let's see if I can get the temp readout into our post display camera here. It's not very bright, is it? I think you can see the 27 degrees there. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is I don't really factor a decent price into it. I think that there's some things that you literally cannot find for any price. Like Winbond. I'll try a different port. That sometimes happens. Okay, doesn't like that OS. 4 minutes until the 1 hour mark. Can we get an OS to boot under 1 hour from the start of the stream? I think I'm just tired. Fuck. Lockdown and all that crap messes with your body. Alright, so 14x. We have 8 LN2 results. And Fugger on AIO with terrible efficiency. It might be possible to sort of get somewhere in this area. I think what I need is a sugar hit. Interesting how the 7940X has held on so long. I guess when IMC isn't a factor, kind of makes sense. So this score is from the 25th of September 2017. That must be getting on to be one of the older multi-core global firsts now. So even if you look at the overall world records here, a lot of them are 2020 results. I mean, Geek Single makes sense. Geek Multi makes sense with the 64 core. Cinebench makes sense. Well, Frequency obviously is a little bit older. Global first places for CPU. Obviously the single core stuff is ancient, but if you look at, let's say, quad core, it's an interesting mix now. It really is. Alright, restore is done. Does anyone know what causes a particular OS just not to boot? It's so weird. I haven't been able to figure it out. Short of making a new OS for every motherboard, there doesn't seem to be a workaround either. $62. Be nice if you could boot for a change. We have a Windows 7 boot screen. Things are looking up. Things are looking actually amazing. We have 4 channels and we have a Windows 7 boot screen. What more could you want in life? We even have a Team Cup background. I am very, very impressed here. And we even have the new version of CPU-Z. And we have an overclock that actually applied properly. And we have 28 threads, 14 cores and 28 threads showing. And we have a memory overclock. Things are definitely looking up. Now we just need to install Turbo V and get a screen resolution going that's not just completely 1980s. Alright, where's my USB stick with... And it's now just past 1 hour, so that's perfect timing. Where's my favorite USB stick? Okay, only thing that might be an issue is USB drivers, but we can work around that. Let's set the chiller to something more reasonable as well. I can see stuff in the chat. All right. Cooking dinner. What are you having for dinner, mate? All right, let's quickly throw the right stuff on this USB stick. Basically, the only thing that's absolutely mandatory is USB drivers. Everything else can be added later on. Let's go with the as media one. Doesn't really matter as long as we have one working one. It's a good thing about things that are slightly older. You still get Windows 7 support straight out of the box. Unlike current gen from both manufacturers, they're both equally guilty for only supporting a single OS on, you know, boards and chips that are really expensive. I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. Even for non-benching applications, it's kind of ridiculous. Hey, Bullant. Depends on your definition of winning. I was able to boot Windows, so that's a win in my book. I don't know how you see that. How are you keeping anyway? You're certainly safe and sound over there on the other side of the country with your closed border and 0 cases. All right, we're getting close to something that's approaching benchable. Pork chops, nice. Well, I hope you enjoy them, and I hope they come out well. Pork chops, I can't remember the last time I had a pork chop. Maybe that's where I'm going wrong in my life. Not enough pork chops. Second boot and it already wants me to activate. Fuck off, Microsoft. You wish you had pork chops? Oh, you wish there were 0 cases and a closed border? Yep. Unfortunately, not every country is approaching things the same way. Let's just put it that way. Come on, installer. For some reason, I really hate the default Windows thing where it has all these visual effects. That's one of the first things I disable on a new install. So many cores. Why is Explorer crashing? I don't get it. There's no maximum set. What could it possibly be complaining about? It's a fresh Windows install. Alright. Reboot. 2066, do you want to do KBX or SkyX? I thought this was a good deal. This was the 14 core for I think it was 800 Aussie. So in my book that was a good deal. $2066 is a nice socket when you can get it working. Yeah, people ask for like $1,500 for that kind of stuff. But the guy was just keen to move the chip along for whatever reason. Okay, let's disable visual effects before I have a crisis, an identity crisis. And now let's let the installer do its thing. Okay. I only just got the driver from the website, so let's download the other USB driver then. Good thing about these HEDT boards, there's so many USB ports at the back. Surely I can get one of them working. Will this even work? I find that when you search for an individual piece of hardware, that's when HardwareBot throws the 504 error the most. More cores for 3D, yeah. That's why I have the 14 core. That's certainly enough. Well, it's never enough, but it's a sufficient amount of cores for 3D. So what's your favorite modern 3D bench? Because I've only seen you bench 03 and 05, I think, maybe 06 on like GTX 680. Yes, it's installing drivers. It's doing what it's supposed to do. So now, just need to find the right USB port to plug my USB stick into. Magic. All right, let's actually make an attempt at benching something. M9A, M10A, M11A, of course no. Rampage 6. There we go. I'm organized. All right, what's going to be the first bench? Cinebench, maybe? I'm excited. I'm actually launching a bench here. As my internet drops. Yeah, 01 is good, Bulans. 01 is really good. I really want to give two-way 01 on the GTX 580 a go for global first. Yeah. But what do you like? Time Spy, Fire Strike, 3 Mark 11, Vantage, Heaven. Which of the newer ones do you like? All right, there's 4.8. The background is a bit sad though. Let's spruce that up a little bit. There we go. $90. That's not great, is it? This liquid metal job must be terrible. I can lower the chiller down a bit, but 95 degrees at 1.25 V-core isn't great. All right, lowering the chiller temp, maybe screwing in the block a little bit more. All right, rerun. That actually helped quite a bit. 66 degrees. Okay, so the block was just loose. You can't really see that, but weird reflections going on there. I can tell you. Anyway, so ooh, the score went up by quite a bit. Let's get a screenshotting utility. Nine 9980X. You're better off losing it. How does this compare? I'm just curious. Obviously 0 effort score, but where's Cinematic 15? Alright, let's get a few more runs going while this goddamn website loads. Oh, here we go. Almost top 20, nice. Yeah, obviously I don't have the frequency for that. Let's see if we can get top 20. Skylag X is quite funny. Sometimes it takes a while to apply a new ratio. There we go, finally it applied. So let's see if we can get the old 5G going. Blue screen. You mean 21 hardware points? Alright, 21st. Yeah, fair enough. Alright, the first port of call will be... Well, I think given the temps we just had, we can try 1.3 on the vCore. And we can also try 3600 RAM. Well, I'm not a fan of Xeon, so you have to say 975. Just gonna do a stock run at the new vCore in case that absolutely blows up. Who cares about BCLK anyway? Still no maximum actually. Should be careful about that. Maybe that's what's causing this hang. Yes, there we go. Let's try some sort of halfway house like 3466. A9 means entering bias. I'm not sure why this bias calls it 3467. That's fake news. Alright, here's the expanded rankings while we're waiting for that to post. 4,000 is likely going to be out of reach. Yeah, that's 5.2. Not going to do that. What's so special about this Nori guy? Why is he able to get such a high score? Is it Windows 7 fuckery? Okay, so basically 4,000 is out of reach. We can say that with almost complete certainty. Well, let's try to get 3.9 something. Come on. All right. Maximum it is then. Things always escalate late so quickly. I just want to, chill out and bench something just in a very casual way, and I'm already setting max men, 2 runs into the session. Let's also look at some other rankings. Interesting to me would be something like 4K. I'm always a fan of 4K. Both the video format and the benchmark. See here, the new IMCs went out. You very, very quickly get to something like Avalanche. Hopefully I don't embarrass myself. Just in general. I think I can just leave the statement at that. Hopefully I don't embarrass myself. Okay. Let's start with 29,000. Now the fun part about dropping channels on this platform is you very, very quickly can't boot your OS, but hopefully that won't happen from now on. Gonna boot in, make sure that maximum set correctly, or remove mem rather, and then reboot and apply. Three gigs is probably still on the high side, but should be able to get to 3466 at least. By the way, Ginger, mandatory pic of your pork chops required in chat, or else we'll kick you. Fuck it, let's try 3600 again. What is the worst that can happen? I say that as, I just discovered I had a randomly dead chip, so I should probably not tempt fate. But, well, we know it's going to post, but is it going to boot? So 4K might be my second bench. I'm a big fan of 4K. The only thing is, there's maximum issues. So maybe a good compromise can be 1080p. Let's try for that. Here's the swinging balls from Windows 7. Is it gonna boot? Sometimes it gets stuck here too. I expect great things from this chip. So our 1.3 V-core is set, and it's also being monitored accurately in here. Our memory is at 3600. Let's just give it a quick run. Temps in the low 60s, that's really nice. That's actually really nice for 1.3. Maybe the liquid metal job from the previous owner is actually good. So come on. 5 is a bit too much, isn't it? Let's try for 4.9 then. How can a favorite install die? Just image it. 49. Let's go with the retry button. What do you use for imaging, White Shark? Well, just image periodically. Okay, let's see if we can do 4.9 at 1.3, and then we can go 1.3255, 1.355, maybe 1.375. After 1.4, it's just not fun anymore on this platform. It gets so hot, usually, but you know, like I said, maybe this is a super secret sauce liquid metal job this previous owner put on this chip. Okay, here we go, 4.9. Okay. Slow threads. Yeah, it's just a bugged run. We can just retry. All right, 3800 has been broken. It's always nice. So, what we need to do is take the Aussie record away from Glyn23. No LN2 scores. That's the nice thing about the 14 core, is it's such a weird little in-between chip that we are already tantalizingly close to beating this guy. I don't know who Glyn is, but we need to beat him. We need to take the Aussie record on Windows 10, no less. Ooh, what's that board? Oh, a dark. That's why he's on 4000 RAM. Okay, and 3 Northbridge. Okay, maybe that's what we can look at next. Well, first priority and off-screen runs and all the usual crap. Let's maybe try for 3G mesh. So nice seeing quad. Okay, there it is. Let's do a like for like run to see the scaling of whether it runs. What's with that one slow thread? Oof. Doesn't take much for that to happen, does it? Temp still below 65, that's nice. Okay. Don't know what happened there. I'll lower mesh by 1. Sometimes higher clocks is not the answer. If it's still a crap run, then I need to reboot. Obviously something major happened with the benchmark in that case. I'm not seeing any artifacts in the rendering, but the score is terrible, so that gives us a chance to try for 3866. From the RAM perspective. Man, it's cold in here. Would have appreciated if Asus had automated that. I pressed retry. The whole point I pressed retry was in order to retry rather than just shut off the system for no reason. This is an older BIOS with 3800 as a strap. Close enough, I suppose. I need to beat this Glyn guy. He's on Windows 10. It's just not acceptable for Cinebench. Looks like we have a boot at 3800. Don't know what this is all about. Seems like a random crash. Gonna try it again. Whoever hasn't watched Tenet, don't go. It's a terrible movie. Saw it in 70mm last night. Thought that would be a bit of a spectacle, but far from it. Alright, let's run without the OC applied in case it's really complaining about the RAM. Interesting. Can't really say I've ever managed to apply RAM settings that can boot but not run Cinebench 15. I suppose quad is a bit different there. What's the next multiplier down? Is there like a 3700 multiplier maybe? Press delete system. Should recognize that fact. Ooh, 3766, that sounds good. Come on. That still looks low, right? Temps are okay. The infamous hanging on the last few squares thing in Cinebench. I think I'm gonna go on to X265. I don't really know what these weird issues are here, but maybe I do need a little bit more VCore. think at this point they could just take away the hardware detection part of X265. It hardly ever works anyway. .9 is applied. Let's do a straight run. .105 FPS. That sounds impressive. Okay. That was 105.9. Let's try double overkill. No, it's clearly better. 134. Okay, so we have the top 10 global and Aussie record all wrapped together on our first run, basically. So that's sweet. Third globally, actually. That's interesting. I didn't expect there to be this few runs. Nice. Yeah, okay. Always nice to have a global cup. Let's apply our wallpaper for this in celebration. But what does Splave run? Assume double overkill. Okay, let's see what happens with 5G. What's the worst that can happen? Coronavirus, I know. Okay, bad joke, bad joke. Very bad joke. Yeah, didn't even want to stay set. Let's give 3800 another go. So here we have global first place. Actually just 3600 RAM, but 3.7. Well, you can't see that, but 3.7 Encore, which kind of scaled with cold and stuff, so that's not the same. So highly optimized Encore RAM, pretty pleb level, to be honest. Okay, let's just try and boot. .3G Encore. .2800 RAM. So overkill runs are obviously harder on the memory and the IMC than non-overkill. So I'll do an overkill run at the 4.5 core and then go 4.9 and maybe 5. So this is the 3800 RAM now, still under 70 degrees on the core. Okay, that seems all right. Let's see what happens with 25 more millivolts. Didn't like that at all. Okay, let's just do a straight apply of 4.9. Yeah, how else do you think Lumi does so well? Kind of wonder what's actually crashing there. All right, let's try and set a 1.35 V core from BIOS and see how the temps look. More volts. That's the secret. You're on the right track. Oh my volts. Are you the Wire fan? Am I reading that correctly? I just hit my streaming PC with my foot, but it's still running, so that's all good. Let's do a 20th anniversary viewing of it in 2022. Are you down? Watch it all in one weekend or something. So that was more of an OCP type shutdown. What's EK paste? Maybe we need to smooth out the LLC a little bit. But it is a 14 core after all. Takuku. Let's have a look at this. I mean, maybe it's just, you know, ES paste, basically. Oh, I remember when I used to EK Tim A8. That is intriguing. So it does seem to be liking the lower LLC. Only up to a point. Well, you ain't a real bencher unless you trigger LLC, right? Sorry, OCP. Okay, I can go like 1.325 maybe. See how that goes. Nice video though. I'm impressed. What's terminal shutdown? Let's go 90. Well, let's go 100. Just in case that was giving some issues. Yeah, either China only or just ES paste straight up. Please finish. It's 64 degrees. It got very far. Oh yeah, let's inch it down. I should probably be binning PSUs, to be honest, but failing that, let's inch down the V core a bit. Ginger perks. What's everyone else even running in terms of vCore? Feel like I have a weak PSU. Does alright on LN2 though, I'm surprised. Here we go. Avalanche has a pretty beefy system, and even he was only running 1.28. Sorry, I have allergies. I do apologize. Quad channel mem frequency. Who cares? It's just 1366. It's an outdated platform. X299 is a current platform. Alright? It is currently for sale in the shops. Like, I could walk downtown Sydney, walk into a shop, and pick up a board and a chip and RAM. You can't do that with 1366. As my monitor fails. Come on, monitor. Oh, that's interesting. Is it hating the encore or something? Yeah. Life in lockdown is tough, isn't it? All right, let's back off the encore a little bit. I saw it last night. I was bitterly disappointed. So I watched the 10-year anniversary edition 4K reissue of Inception 2 weeks ago, and now I watched Tenet, and I really didn't expect much. I wanted it to be kind of like a cheap reissue of Inception, like a similar concept, like sort of 50 to 75% as good as Inception, and it didn't even match those expectations. I thought that was, I was being very reasonable there, but nope, apparently not. It's very it's very gimmicky. I know Inception in its own way is also very gimmicky, but Tenet is all exposition. It's all just gotchas and no character development, no acting. Like it's a movie. It's essentially, I mean, given that the plot is so gimmicky, I would argue it's a movie without acting, a plot, or character development. It does have editing and effects, but even the sound, like a lot of the characters are always. This is going to be the spoiler-free review, right? Like a lot of the dialogue. I'm not going to tell you anything about the plot, basically, but a lot of the dialogue is really hard to hear because the sound editing is so crap. So you have a very complicated movie that's hard to understand and follow, where the only ways you can follow it is, or one of the only ways is to listen to people's dialogue, but the dialogue is inaudible. So part of the vibe, fuck him. No, I mean he's made some good movies, but this is just too self-indulgent. Believe me when I say, I mean, I'm not exaggerating, there is no character development and there's no acting in that movie. So prepare for 2.5 hour movie that takes a lot of effort to understand, but actually is kind of dumb. Like it's not smart at all. It doesn't have any interesting commentary, or it's not rewarding to figure out the movie. It's just dumb. So I almost fell asleep in it, and I like going to the cinema. So, and I was looking forward to it, and I was watching it in 70 mil. All of the components were in place for a good movie viewing experience. Here in Australia, they block every second row in the cinema, so you don't feel uncomfortable or anything like that, for social distancing reasons. Okay, I gotta go back to 1.3 VCore. It's clearly not happy. And really, I mean, I was sort of already I was already keyed in to be disappointed. I already expected it to be a letdown, and for it to be a letdown of that letdown, that really caught me off guard. I was really surprised by that. That doesn't happen very often. The only movie that I can compare it to recently, but this is unfair to this movie. The only reason movie I can compare it to is Joker, because I was also really disappointed by that. But there was acting in that. There was a bit, not the greatest plot in the world, but like Joker had good, like not my cup of tea, but interesting visuals and stuff. Whereas Tenet was just a mess of sound and vision. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Ginger and whatnots. Sad but true. Try and look up good movies. I think I saw a few good movies at the beginning of the year. I could be wrong. I haven't heard of any of these. Trying to get to a movie I've actually seen, heard of. Yeah, I mean, I thought it ended up being a little bit too depressing and too focused on just the main character, but there are definitely aspects of Joker that I liked, whereas Tenet, no redeeming qualities. So do these last remaining 10 millivolts really make the difference between a pass and an OCP trip? Maybe I just need to separate my 12-volt rails or something. This is a single rail PSU though. Alright, time to lower the on-core voltage. You know where you can do 3000 valid ground? On AM3 Plus. Just get one of these. Okay, what happens if I throw in minus 100 millivolts? I didn't say air. But dual channel on LN2, so it's kind of impressive too. Its own right. Allergies are killing me. On a single stick, I suppose. Oh, I hate these kind of bench sessions where you get a good first run out and then you don't get another run for half an hour, a day, a week. Alright, it's not liking that. Alright, let's back it off to 3600 and get a 4K out. 3600 and stock Uncore at 1.3 V core. Non-overkill 4K. At 4.5 first to see. Oh. Score likes to throw 0-0. How are those pork chops coming, Ginger? Let's see if we can get a 4K out. Alright. Let's go 4.8. should have enough RAM. It's only showing 47 degrees on the temp probe. I don't know if that's true. Maybe just bottlenecking on the RAM or something, or in the Encore. So Glyn is at 30 FPS. That would be nice to beat. I don't know if it's going to happen without overkill though. $28.3. Well, at least it beat Avalanche. I think on that note, allergies are just killing me, so Ginger, have fun with your pork chops and ground. Much success on your Black Edition. Yeah, I can't stream on Wednesday due to the construction noise, so I'm not really sure when my next stream will be. But thanks for watching, and tune in next time.